Yo, what's up, guys? Aid here, my boy Casey, who got top 4 at our first post-banlist locals. What you play, big dog?
I played pure Snake Eye because I'm a misogynist.
Yo, I thought that
Wait,
got
misogynist?
hit.
That's not the word. That's good enough. Keep it in there. All right. See you guys. All right. Anyway, yeah, definitely misogynist. I hate that. Anyway, so yeah, I played pure Snake Eye. I don't know if it's good. You could be the decider on that one. But anyway, I played 3 D Bellstar. I played many one of Snake Eye names.
Every Snake Eye. You're the Snake Eye guy.
Every Snake Eye guy. Birch now. And then 2 Oak. So I'll talk about this right now. You need to play 3 of this as if you weren't gonna, because you need to like open a way to get into these cards. The biggest nerf that happened with this deck is the limitation, obviously, but like what that means is that after your first push, it's really, really hard to get back into Engine unless you really are cognizant of what you're doing and setting up stuff. So essentially you need to be really active of putting back your Poplar into rotation or like putting an Oak in your back row at the end of your play. So that's like the new struggle is like trying to manage that one of each resource. And if you get hand trapped early or like you don't manage it well, you'll just lose. So now it's about like kind of looping these. Birch real quick. Birch is basically your replacement for Poplar. It has some other applications too. Basically if you have a fire, you can just special it for free. So you'll use it in some situations where you open the Poplar and go original line, because you'll search this instead of where you would have searched the second Poplar. And it lets you still combo. It also lets you summon from the deck during the opponent's turn, like these ones do during your turn, which you can do to set up some cool stuff with Flamberge, or like even get your Oak back out of the deck for the second copy to get your resources back, or like reset your Poplar or whatever you need. So I think you kind of need to play this now, to be honest. It's fine. I'm playing a second Oak because I want a card to search off of the Ash that I bring back during the opponent's turn that also gets me back into the whole engine if I need to. So it really sucks because you don't really want to open this. If you have to, it's fine, but like you just need a certain amount of level 1 fires, and that's the best one instead of a second Birch or whatever. So that's that. Now, other engine, I'm only playing 2 copies of Fiendsmith Engraver, 1 Larry. The reason for this is because the Fiendsmith Engraver is no longer a 1-card Snake Eye combo. So it's really good if you have 2 bodies partway through your combo to make that and get some value and then end on like either a Caesar or a Desiree, depending on what you want to end on. But if you have multiple copies, it's going to be pretty dead after that. It's hard to like keep that going. So 2 seems like the perfect number, because that way if you open 1, you still get through everything and you can bring the second one out and keep your resource loop going. 3 I think is probably too much. I don't know. As the format develops, 3 might be right, but as for right now, I think that's fine. Okay, hand traps. I played many. 3 Nib, 3 Ogre. Ogre was incredibly good today. It's good against Yubel. I didn't play against any Yubel today, but it's also good against Tempai and a few other decks. It comes in handy pretty often, to be honest. I actually really liked it. 3 Veiler. I think Veiler's still probably really good. There's some talk about it being not as good as last format, and it might not, but it's still probably better than whatever other hand trap you'd play. 3 Ash, and then I made deck 3 Bestials. You could probably even do more. To be honest, there were only a few times where I sided them out, and those are matchups where monsters were important, like against stun and that kind of stuff. But yeah, these are crazy. I mean, you know. Also, the versatility of having each of these is important, and the card you search off the Magnemite actually matters. So, like, knowing when to go into your Baldrake or your Truest Worm to, like, further answer the board or like make the right play is now important. It was always important, but it's especially important now because these are really the only monsters you're putting on play in the board that are not these. So you really need to be careful with that. So also 3 Imperm, so many hand traps. It's still probably right at the moment. That might change as the format develops, but for right now it was pretty good. I played 3 Wanted, basically to have more access to these guys. 3 Bonfire. Bonfire is really necessary because you need to get to your Snake Eye guys, your normal summons, but it really sucks, and this is why I'm playing multiple copies of Oak and stuff, because after your first turn, you've pretty much depleted your deck of all level 1 fires most of the time, if you're not careful. So Bonfire can be rough to have multiples of, so just keep that in mind. You still need to play 3 of it, but it feels worse now. But anyway, 1 for 1, it's basically another way into all this. It's the weakest one, because if it gets Ash, you want to die, but it's fine. And then the last 3 in the main deck were Original, the Field Spell, and 1 Tracked, just damage requirements. I think I'm at 42. I can't do math. But yeah, it was pretty good. I opened Ash a few games today. I think 5 games today out of 5 rounds.
God damn.
It was.
They didn't hit in your deck. Crazy.
Yeah, I got impermed a few times. I got double impermed a few times, and that can still suck, but you can recover pretty well. The Fiendsmith bodies and the Bestial bodies are really good to make Promethean Princess and get going again. So this is not new, the same as last format, but it plays a little bit slower now, and a lot of your games will devolve into a little bit of a grind. So
you have less resources for that grind now.
Right. Yeah, and so it's really important that you don't screw up the grind game. That's kind of the big challenge now. I don't know if that's going to be good enough in the totality of the format, but it was good today. I know that. So here's the extra. It's in no particular order because I didn't order it. Moon, Caesar, Relinquished Anima, SP. A lot of the stuff is the same. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll also talk about that in a second. Okay, so all this up here should all be very standard. I'm playing this now because if you open just Caesar, open just your engraver, you can use this to get to Caesar. And it comes up sometimes that you can like discard for your Nightmare Phoenix and get a draw for this. Kind of cool.
That is neat, actually. What the heck?
It's neat, yeah. And there's some situations that'll come up where you can kind of bait some interaction where you'll have an engraver and you can equip your Requiem when they have a board, and you can threaten to like send a thing or to make this, and it keeps them kind of guessing what you're doing. So an engraver with a Requiem on it is very threatening. So this is all normal. Play all these. I'm playing these today. I like this as another, basically as the rank 4 option now that Apo is gone, obviously. This comes up. You can now do like the OTKs that you were doing before with like these guys, or just using these and getting back the Flamberge Dragon and doing enough damage. So that's now back on the menu. Also, just like making this going first sometimes can be really good. So I like these. Also, in the grind game, this guy's effect to summon whenever one of your guys is destroyed is actually super important. So making him on your opening board is pretty good a lot of the time. I am not playing Solo Hat Rabbit because I don't have one.
You would, though?
I would. So I'd play that over this card. This was the last card I added into my deck when I went to make it today. Well, when I meant to make it the other day. Now, that being said, I have made this card. And
I saw it.
It sure did win me some games. The craziest board that I ended on involved this card, and it was insane. So it was like this boy, I had an IP, this, and then back row and follow up, and it just did so much. So I don't know if this is right to play. It probably isn't, to be honest. It's probably the Solo Hat Rabbit, but the card's still really good, and a lot of decks are playing like just beat your ass spell cards, and this will help them not beat your ass.
Yeah.
Also, when you have both of these, like the Dark Ruler or whatever that would have answered this, you can chain stuff in a way. Sometimes it can help with that, like if you have an Imperm or whatever. But yeah, it was good. Like I said, I don't know that it's right. Probably Solo Hat, but it worked for me today, and I like that. We can look at my side deck real quick. It is by no means perfect, and it's kind of still an artifact of the last format, but we'll go over it. So I played some 1-0s. The Hoser cards, these are both crazy. If you go first, you win the game. And this card, I have been playing lately, and I've been liking lately. I think it's obviously good against like the stunny matchups if they've resolved a skill drain or whatever in the runic stun, but it's also really good against a lot of like mid-rangey things. So like against like Chimera, they got to set their like Chimera Fusion. If you use this, it forces them to either use it or lose it immediately.
And it takes out whatever else they had chilling called by Imperm.
Exactly, yeah. So like I've actually really liked this card. I know weird Harpy's Feather Duster is good, but like I've liked it in the matchups you wouldn't necessarily think were good. I'm playing 3D barriers. This is for Tenpai mostly, but it also does some damage against like Whitewoods, Chimera, like I mentioned before. I sided this against Memento today. Because I'm pretty familiar with that deck, and I realized that the only way I was losing the game was if they were able to get off their 3 material fusion, the big Conqueror guy. And basically, whenever they went Memento Fusion, I go, ho, ho, ho.
Win the game?
Yeah, it's pretty much win the game. Again, no surprise, but I mean, it's still good. I started 3 Cosmics. I respect back row. It's good against the Tenpai matchup and against the Mirror. It's good against a lot of stuff, honestly. I like it against UL as well, to hit the continuous spells, especially because the ones that won. So other stuff I played, again, respecting UBell and a few of the other stunny decks. I played 3 Dark Ruler. They're good. You don't have to do enough damage to win the game to effectively end the game in this deck, because you are just resource looping them and keeping all your stuff going. So the not being able to do damage thing kind of sucks, but like
it's not the end of the world.
It's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. And then I'm still playing 3 of these. These should not be in here. Now that Lacrima is not in the format, like this isn't as important. I do think it's really good in time, and people do be playing slow. But I don't think you need to play this. I'm not really sure what to put in over this yet, but these can likely come out. It might be DD Crows. That's good against a number of cards in the meta right now. It's good against the Tempai deck and the Memento deck that aren't hit by Bestials, so like that offers you some good coverage.
What about Mulch Army? Is that good?
If I had 3 Mulch Armies, they'd probably be in here. Actually, yeah, that'd probably be what these are. I have 1, so I wasn't gonna
play the 1.
I could, but like,
and if you draw it, it's like you drew one of these because it'll draw you into it. You know.
You know, that's
fair.
True. I didn't think about that. But yeah, so that was my side deck. Well, that was all of it. Did you have any questions?
I don't, honestly.
Okay, cool.
Do you have anything you want to add?
Not really. I think that this deck is probably not as good as it was last format. I don't think it's dead necessarily, but it is way not as good as some other stuff. I think Ubel and probably the Fire King deck are better. I haven't done the testing on Fire King myself to know if that's absolutely true, but I feel like it is.
We'll find out with time.
We'll find out. But yeah, no, that's it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you.
Sick. Thank you for the profile.
Yeah, no problem.